Rider Magazine. I'm here testing this 2026 Aprilia Tuono 457. It's the first model. It emulates the RS 457, but now they finally have the Tuono version. So a little bit of a difference between the RS and the Tuono. The price difference, this bike is actually $300 cheaper at $6,599, whereas the RS is $6,899. Another thing that's slightly different, on the RS, the gas tank holds 3.44 gallons, and this bike holds 3.3 gallons. Another thing that's slightly different is the rear sprocket on this Tuono has one extra rear tooth. And that's about the only differences. Oh, obviously, the little headlight, the little naked headlight, the upright bars, the different seating position. But overall, same motor, same electronics, same option to get that quick shifter if you needed it. This bike competes with the Z400, Z500, the KTM 390, and a couple other naked bikes. One of the things I noticed was the clutch was really, really easy to pull, and I found out that it actually has a slipper clutch, so that's really nice on a smaller cc motorcycle like this. It has a 6-speed gearbox and with an optional up and down quick shift at purchase. The 457cc parallel twin liquid-cooled engine creates 47.6 horsepower at 9,400 RPM. That's pretty good for this size motorcycle. I noticed while riding, the bike is really torquey on the low and the mid-range. It kind of dies out near the top end. It's definitely more towards the torquey low and mid-range area for the fun part of the power. I definitely really like bikes that have that low-end peppiness, and I'm a serious fan of like twin engines, so the bike was really fun for me. It also sounds pretty good, even though it has a stock exhaust. Aprilia has like an iconic sound. And even though this bike is more of the like entry-level low cc bike, it still has a pretty good sound. So I'm pretty happy about that. It creates 43.5 Newton meters of torque at 6,700 RPM, which correlates with what I was just saying about how it felt. So that's good. The 457 performed really well at Buttonwheel. I rode it for 2 days. I rode in C group while I was coaching. And then I went into B group to see how it would do kind of at a higher pace. And it did great. I do think that the tires were maybe slight limiting factor. This comes equipped with the Eurogrip Pro Torque tires. And at first, I didn't really adjust the pressures. So at first they were really high because it was hot outside. And then throughout the day, I kind of lowered the pressures and the tires felt a little bit better. But I did notice that the tires kind of felt muted when I was really leaned over. So what I would have to do to kind of mitigate that was I would just brake a little more before the corner and then ease myself in. But it did just fine passing people in B group, so it's capable. If I were to own this bike, I would change the tires. However, the tires that come with it are really great for street riding and just a little bit of track riding. I think they did perform pretty well because I never really slipped or anything. But it was weird because I just didn't feel any feedback. While riding on the street and at the track, I definitely noticed that the shifting was really precise and it was really, really smooth thanks to the slipper clutch. Like all the other Aprilias, this bike comes equipped with Aprilia Performance Ride Control, or APRC. This comes equipped with 3 different ride modes: Eco, Rain, and Sport. It also comes equipped with traction control. And I got to play around with the traction control, and I personally like riding motorcycles without traction control on, but I did test it in 1 and 2. I didn't try the 3, but it does have those 3 modes. So 1, 2, 3, and off. It's really easy to turn traction control off with just the down arrow button. You just hold it for a second, it turns it off. I love that. That's really nice. In each ride mode, it changes the power delivery and traction control. So for example, in rain mode, it has high traction control, probably at the 3, and then it has like a very low power delivery. And you can adjust it in each ride mode as well. It doesn't have to be traction level 2. If you want to switch it, you can. You just adjust it. While riding in the group, I did put it in eco mode, and we were averaging about 60 miles to the gallon. Even at the track, this bike was averaging about 45 miles to the gallon in sport mode, full on, fully pinned in B group. So that's pretty good. The chassis comes with a twin spar aluminum frame, which is rare for this bike because it's normally on beefier big sport bikes. So Aprilia did a good job putting it on this lower CC bike. It makes it feel really solid. I really felt it when I was out on track. It only weighs 385 pounds with a full tank of gas. All the fluids in it, that's pretty light for this type of bike. The front suspension is 41 millimeter inverted forks, and you can adjust preload. And the rear is a monoshock that is also preload adjustable. I don't know if it was just the highway that we were on, but the 405 South or the 5 South heading towards Ortega Highway, it was pretty bumpy and the bike kind of felt like it was bouncing a lot. However, while I was on the track, I was at Buttonwillow Raceway, and that track is known to be super bumpy, and I didn't really have any issues with the suspension there. So I'm not sure exactly what the reasoning was, but on track it felt good. No issues with the suspension. However, that doesn't mean that I wouldn't upgrade it if I owned it, because I kind of tend to ride more aggressively and I tend to ride more track than anything. So if I did own it, I'd probably want to upgrade the suspension. This has bi-brake brakes, front and rear, with steel braided lines. And in the front, there's a 320 millimeter rotor, and in the rear is a 220 millimeter rotor. The front has only one rotor, just FYI. It has dual channel ABS, and you can electronically turn off the rear ABS, but not the front ABS. The seat height on this is 31.5 inches. I'm 5'6" and I have a 28-inch inseam. I could easily flat foot this with both feet, push it forward and backwards, no issues. The seat was really comfortable. It's kind of narrow right here, which is nice. It makes it really easy. It's flat, more near the back and a little bit in the front, so that felt pretty good. If I were any taller, I could see how my knees would kind of hit this pointy part of the gas tank, but luckily I don't have a problem with that. It felt good for me. The bike fit me really well. It's really comfortable. I love upright bikes, so no issues there. With the 5-inch TFT display, it's really easy to read everything while you're riding. It's clear, concise. You can change it from night to day mode. You can make a few adjustments in there, and the display shows a bunch of stuff. With this bike being $6,599, yes, it's a little more expensive than the other bikes in its group, other naked bikes like the Z500 or the MT-03. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it was informative and maybe it might help you make the decision on possibly buying this motorcycle, and I'll see you on the next one.